Hi everyone, it's Miss Meagle here and we are ready to start the week of maths. We're going to be looking at arrays today, linking to repeated addition and multiplication sentences as well. We'll be talking through a warm-up and then doing that together, warming up what we're focusing on for that day, and then moving on to our bronze, silver and challenges as well, explaining them more in detail. Let's get started. So we're going to be looking through the slides to be using arrays today. So let's have a look. So how many counters are there? This is why I'd like you to get your pen and paper, or you could say out loud how many there are. So as you can see, I'm going to be using my mouse a lot today. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 counters. Now moving on to number 2, how many counters are there? So as we already know, there were 5 at the top. So now we can see that there are still the same rows. So there are 2 rows of 5. So 5 add 5 equals 10. You could also use your doubles. So obviously 5 add 5 is also 10 as well. So hopefully use your number bond knowledge there. Which representations show 6? So let's have a look at each one now. I'm going to be using my mouse here to help you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are the blue. There we go. So that does show 6. Now moving on to these, I'm going to count on my 2s. 2, 4, 6. So again, this does represent 6. There is 7 there. So that represents 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this does not. Again, 2, 4, 6, so those yellow do represent 6. So they're the 3 arrays that do show 6. Moving on to the next slide. So let's carry on learning. So how many tarts are there? So we could be looking at the rows. So this is a row of 3 and another row of 3. So in my head I would do 3 add 3 equals 6. Or I could do the columns, which they will show you now. So 2, 4, 6. So again, that is repeated addition, which we'll be looking at today later. So how many cakes are there? So again, let's start by looking at the rows. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There are 10 cakes. Or you could be looking at the columns. So there's 5, add 5. So 2 lots of 5, which is also 10. Moving on. So what is an array? So these are rows. So there's one row there of apples. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 apples. And of course, another row underneath, again, of 6 apples. So there's the there's a repeated addition there. So 6 add 6, a number sentence equals 12. Also the multiplication, there are 2 lots of 6 equals 12. So now we're going to be looking at the columns, which is another way which you could have written your number sentence. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lots of 2. And there's your repeated addition sentence. So now we're going to be looking at these pairs. If you would like to pause here, then you can have a little think about your repeated addition and your multiplication sentence as well. So let's have a little look. So first of all, we looked at our rows. So there are 2 rows of 4. So that's 4 add 4 equals 8. Or like I said before, 2 lots of 4. So 2 times 4 equals 8. The other way you could have written it was 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of 2. So that's 2 add 2 add 2 add 2 equals 8. Or 4 lots of 2 equals 8. So when I say lots of, that's another way of saying multiplication. So now the little turtle says you can't make an array because 9 is an odd number. So let's have a little think. Can you move any pairs to try and make an equal array? So they've now done it for you. So that's 3 add 3 and 3 equals 9. Also written as 3 times 3 equals 9. So hopefully you can see that's equal now, so you can make an array of 9. So we're going to stop there, and now I'm going to show you bronze, silver and gold as to what you are going to be doing today. Hope you like it. So now we're going to be looking at bronze, silver and the challenge to talk you through what you're going to be doing today. The first picture, as you can see, is bronze. So it's asking you to use the repeated addition and multiplication sentences that we've gone through this morning to help you. We'd like you to use the picture, and either you need to know how many numbers you need to fill in the missing gaps. So first of all, know whether you're going to be writing the column number sentence or the rows number sentence. Feel free to draw on your sheet to help you and work your way through the sheet as you go. If you're working on silver today, then it's very similar. You're looking at columns and rows again of repeated addition and multiplication, and then also using some reasoning within the sheet as well. Then it's going to ask you to also draw your own arrays, which is great as you've done this before, so you know exactly what you're doing. Use your knowledge of this morning that we've gone through together and your use of arrays throughout to help you do this as well. Lastly, your challenge is all about true or false. So have a look at the array and the statements around it and just think about what is true and false. If you've printed this off, then you can circle it. If not, just discuss out loud or in your head, whoever you're with, about what is going on. We hope you enjoyed today's math and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.